So good morning, everyone. I'm Mélina Ribot. I'm from France. I'm working on the engineering school named Centrale Lyon. And I'm in two laboratories, a math laboratory and a mechanical laboratory. And today I'm going to present you one of kind of research from a global project with industrial and academics. The main industrial we work with is Valeo. This is an automotive supplier. And today, my supervisors are Christophette Blanche-Escalier, Frédéric Gillot, and Céline Elbert. I'm a third year's PhD student. And today I'm going to present you a robustness kriging-based optimization. Let's start. So I'm going to introduce the main context, so the industrial context. So we are working on turbomachinery. Turbomachinery are ventilators placed in front of your car. The aim of turbomachinery is to cool down the engine. Our goal in this project is to construct the best turbomachinery as possible. So we have to find the best geometric shape to obtain the best efficiency as possible. In our case, the turbomachinery is parameterized with 50 inputs. So we have 5 sections around the blade of the turbomachinery. And here on the left you have the view of the blade, and you can see 3 inputs. I'm sorry, it's right in French, but calage means stagger, chords mean chord length, and HMAX, it's okay, mean maximal camber height. So you have 5 sections and 3 main parameters, so you have 15 inputs. So this is the first parameterization. In the future, we want to have 60 inputs. So it's higher. So the general context, this is more mathematical context. So we have a function, here this is the efficiency, and we have many inputs. So here this is 15 inputs, I call P. So we are in the high dimension case, and we are in the context of time-consuming simulation. That's why we use a meta model. I don't know if you are friendly with meta model, but the idea is, for example, you have a physical phenomenon that is the functionment of a turbomachinery. And of course, if you want to optimize the efficiency, you can construct a turbomachinery, test it on the car, and redo it until obtaining the best efficiency. Of course, it's too costly. You have a high material cost. So that's why Valeo, the industrial, make a numerical code, so based on a mechanical equation. But this numerical code takes, for one simulation, it takes 10 hours, so it's too time-consuming to make an optimization. So the idea of meta model is to develop a statistical model. For example, the more famous, the more well-known is the linear model. And this meta model is based on the simulation of the numerical code. And the idea is to construct this prediction model that predicts to fill the empty space of the numerical code, and the one prediction takes something like less than 1 second. And the last thing, that is, we have access to the derivatives. The numerical code gives the derivatives. So for example, one observation of the function and all the derivatives, first and second order, is less time-consuming than to have 2 observation points of the function. And the last point of industrial context, this is that we are in the context of robust optimization. So it's very simple. For example, when you design on your computer a turbomachinery, sometimes when you construct it, you have some difference when you measure the one you construct and the one you design on the computer. And this difference could have a big impact on the efficiency. Just for example, a little example in 2 dimensions. You have the square optimum and the circle optimum. You can see for the one is more robust, you have all the gray points above the threshold, and the less robust optimum, you have something like 80% of the gray point under the threshold. So of course, for Valeo, it's not possible to have a loss of 80% of turbomachinery. So we have to find the best optimum, but the more robust one. That's why we take this robust optimization as a multi-objective one. So the idea is to minimize or maximize the function and to minimize the robustness criterion. So we have some question, which robustness criterion, which meta model, and which robust optimization procedure. So for the criterion, the idea to catch if optimum is robust or not is to use the variance, so the moment 2. So for example, we can simulate some point around the optimum and calculate the empirical variance. But the problem is that we are in the context of time-consuming simulation, so it's not possible to calculate the empirical variance like this kind of Monte Carlo method. So the idea is to use the derivatives information to approximate the robustness criterion. So we use the Taylor theorem order 2. So we can develop the function with the Taylor theorem and truncate it to the order 2. And we can apply this Taylor theorem development to the prediction function. So I call the prediction hat y, I'm sure it's usual. But now we don't know which model is it. So after, we can calculate the variance of the development of the Taylor theorem, and we have an analytical form of this robustness criterion. So this is very good because to approximate the variance, we just need the prediction of the function and the prediction of the derivatives at the first derivative and second derivative. Then, which meta model? So we use the Kriging. I don't know, the other name is Gaussian process regression. So this is really close to the linear model. So you have the Gaussian process, the tendance. So here the tendance is constant, but you can have a tendance like in linear model, so something linear tendance, etc. And you have a stochastic part. So the difference with a linear model is that this stochastic part have a covariance kernel. So you have a covariance between points in space. And this is the difficult part to estimate. So we call it the covariance kernel. It depends on theta. Theta are the range parameter, and they are estimated by maximum likelihood. And this estimation is not possible analytically, so we made numerical optimization. And the very good thing with Kriging that we have access to the mean and the variance. That's why, for example, for the sinus function, you have 4 observation points in red, and the real function is in black, and the mean of the Kriging is in blue. And you have the dotted line that represent the confidence interval that you can have with the Kriging variance. Yes, one package used to do this is the Dice Kriging package with the KM function in R, of course. Then, in our case, we have access to the derivative, so we use an extension of the Kriging, that name is co-Kriging. So we put a covariance between the function and the derivatives of the function. That is only the difference, and all the things are the same. We use a Gaussian stationary process, and the covariance kernel is a Matern 5.2. We use this covariance kernel because it's not too smooth and is not too flexible, so it is a kind of the middle because we don't have any, we don't know exactly which covariance we can use, and we have a 4 times differentiable kernel because we need that the function is 2 times differentiable, so the kernel has to be 4 times differentiable. That's why we use the Matern 5.2 instead of the Matern 3.2. Some people know this covariance function. And we have the Kriging mean and the co-Kriging variance. Then we have the meta model. Actually, this model with derivative is not coded in R. That was we coded with, so we made the optimization with the NLOpt package. So we used the function implemented in Fortran of the BFGS. It's a kind of gradient descent algorithm. And we code all the objects we need in C++, so with the package RC++ and the Algebria library Armadillo. And we code the analytical derivative of the kernel, the covariance matrix. Yes, the size of the covariance matrix is huge. You have ND cross ND size, so N is the number of observation, and D is the number of derivatives, so it could be very high dimension. And we have to invert this covariance matrix, that's why it's quite complicated sometimes. And we code the likelihood, the prediction, the simulation, and the robustness criterion. This code is not already available, but the idea is to include this code with not dice kriging package, but one very close that is actually in course with the same people made the dice kriging package. That's right. Then the optimization. So the initial problem is to minimize the function and the robustness criterion, but we cannot do it directly on the function because we are at the context of time-consuming simulation. That's why we made the optimization of the prediction of the function, y, with the meta model, and the robustness criterion apply on the meta model. So to do it, we develop 3 main algorithms. So based on the criterion used for kriging, his name is expected improvement. So I'm not going on develop it to it, but if you have some question, you can ask me. So this criterion is just based on the kriging variance, and we made the constant layer sequential and the kriging believer and permutation algorithm. So I'm not going in detail. So the idea to find the front, because we are in the multi-objective, so the idea is to find a Pareto front. So the idea is to start the optimization with a set, then we add some points. So we call regularly the time-consuming code to add improve the kriging sequentially. That's why I called the update by batch, because we don't add point by point, but we add a point by batch. Then the application, so we have applied this method to our industrial code. So we have 15 inputs. In these inputs, we have just 3 inputs that are perturbation. So this is the 3 middle inputs, so it's correspond to the stager, the 3 main stager. And we start with an initial design of 46 points to reach a total budget of 136 points. And we add by update 18 points. So the result is as follows. The time of optimization is 3 hours, around 3 hours for the tree, and you have the result, but maybe you can visualize it. So the CL is the constant layer method. So you can see this is the initial sample state in the objective space. So at the first update, you had 80 points, and of course, the aim is to find these ideal points, but these 2 functions are antagonistic, so we cannot reach this point. So the idea is to construct a front that's made that optimize this one and this one at the same time. So let's do it. So this is the second update. You can see that the point advanced to the front. This one in the same area. It's quite complicated for this method to find the real front. I have no idea of the real front, but this is not the best method. For the kriging believer, you can see this is the same initial sample, and you add points at the same way. These 2 methods are really close. That's why you have the same kind of advancement. The front is quite better. You can see that here, you have a quite better front. And for the last one, this is not the same method because you can see that the algorithm starts with 2 areas and they advance until you can see that the front is really up here. You can see a front. Maybe we can compare all the 3 methods. So in red, you have the constant layer method. You can see that the front is not really dispersive, for example. In green, this is the kriging believer method. It's quite better, but the best one is the blue one with the multi-point expected improvement method. That's it. So thank you for your attention. If you have some question, feel free to ask. I put some reference if you need. So it's okay. Thank you. Yes.
Wouldn't you kind of simplify this and just sample from the posterior of the GP and then compute from that? And that would be a bit easier for non-standard kernels and so on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know if I well understand. So the question is, to approximate the variance, I used the Taylor development at order 2, and you asked me if I can use the posterior of a sample. A sample. Yes, good question. I understand. Yes. Before that, we use this method, but it's very time-consuming because, for example, 1 point, you have to simulate something like 10,000 prediction. Even if it's just 1 second, 10,000 cross 1 second could be very huge, and you proceed to an optimization with the. I haven't said that, but we use the NHGA2 genetics algorithm to provide the Pareto front. So we have to make some population, something like 100 with a 100 generation, so it could be very 2 times. We start with that, and we find another way to develop a cheaper criterion.